Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear future leaders from all around the country, our great country, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, welcome to your English class. Also, I would like to welcome Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil. He is going to be our sign language interpreter. With that being said, I think we're so ready to start our new lesson. It's first intermediate grade, first semester. Our subject is English. Our lesson of today is writing, and this is my name, Ms. Khulud Saoud. As usual, it's my pleasure to have you in my class. Before we start, as usual, we have online classroom rules. Number 1, find the quiet study area and be ready. Make sure you have your book, notebook, pen and pencil because we're going to have writing. Number 2, avoid distractions like TV, food, or any other online resources. Number 3, keep strong and positive. Are you ready? Okay, so in our previous lesson, we read and answered comprehension questions about Museum of Science. Also, we discuss and talk about museums. Remember the Museum of Science? Remember those pictures? The walk through the 6-meter model of a human heart. Also, see the first spacecraft to go around the moon. Go inside a German submarine from the World War II, 1944. This is just to refresh our memory. In today's lesson, we will be having writing, Unit 3, What's That? Page 24. Make sure your book is open. Our lesson objectives. Learners will be able to describe objects using more than one adjective. What does objects mean? We just talked about objects in museum, remember? In the previous lessons, since the beginning of the unit, we talked about items and objects in museum, like car, airplane, the human heart model, and the submarine, all of those things called objects. And today we will learn in writing how to describe them using adjectives, and more than one adjective. Adjectives are words to describe something. Remember the word enormous? Enormous dinosaur, when we said that means very big or huge. Okay, so in order to describe an object, you need to use adjectives. And we are going to learn this in today's lesson. Also, we will be able to use definite and indefinite articles in full sentences. I'm sure you remember using a and an. Do you remember that lesson in grammar? Good job. We use a before all consonant letters and an before vowels, like the 5 vowels letters. A, E, I, O, U. Okay? And today we will add one more definite article that you are about to learn in today's lesson. Let's start our new lesson. Open your book. Look at this chart. What do you see here? Object, description. We just said that. We are about to describe certain object using adjectives. Good job. Look at number A. What is a museum you know? Since the beginning of the unit, we talked about different museums, and I took you to a virtual museum tour. Do you remember that time? Okay, so we were introduced to many different of museums, and I'm sure you know some of them, maybe inside Saudi Arabia, or maybe outside, or maybe in your town even. So what's a museum you know? Write this down in a notebook. Take your moment, or you could ask your parents. They could help you. What are your favorite objects in the museum? Try to think. What's your favorite, the things that you like the most? What did you like the most? Did you like the dinosaur skeleton? Did you like the submarine? It was my favorite. How about you? Write it down, okay? Then write notes in the chart right here, describe the age, size, or where the objects are from. Age, how old? Is it like 30 years? Is it 100 years? The size, is it small, big, huge, enormous? What do you think? How can you describe it? Help me, the reader, who is going to read what you're writing, to imagine and visualize what are you describing. Or where the objects are from. Is it from Saudi Arabia? Is it from Riyadh? Is it from the North region? What do you think? Okay. You can use words like old, very old, new, modern, it's like new, big, small, like tiny, nice, strange, it's unique, one of a kind, or interesting, that makes you think about it. All those words are called, are they nouns? No. Are they verbs? What do you think? They are adjectives. And we use adjectives to describe an object. Okay, so good job. So in this chart, you will be writing the name of the museum that you visited, or maybe you can find a museum online, go on a virtual tour and write the name of the museum, look at the pictures, write the name of the object right here, and start describe it right here. Use as much as you can from those adjectives. If you have more, it's a good idea to add yours. Okay? Look at this picture. What do you see? What's that? What's that? What do you think? It's very old. What do you think? Do you agree? Okay, it's very old item. Is it a cup? It looks like a cup. How about the color? It's not new, it's old, right? What do you think? How can you describe it? Is it gray? Okay. Let's look and see. How about that one? This is a hint. This can help you. This is the modern form of it. This is the old one. This is the modern thing. Good job. I can hear you. So it's an old big item or object. It's actually glass container to administer remedies to children. Okay, 3rd Hijri century, 9th AD, made of glass to give medicine for children. And you can see here the cup holder that helps you to pour the medicine. And nowadays, look at the modern shape of it. It's totally different. But it's really important to know the history of anything in order to know the future of it and the modern form of it. Okay? So this is from Al Medina Museum. As we mentioned, it's a container for a medicine used for kids. Now, let's go back to the chart. Go search the web with the help of your parents, or you could ask your family members, or maybe you visited a museum one day. Ask your parents about the name of the museum. Ask them about objects. If they have picture of it, it's a good idea. And start describing that object. So, we just visited Al Medina Museum in our first slide, in our previous slide, Al Medina Museum. What was the object? What was the object? The old one. It's a medicine cup. Okay, it's a medicine cup. Is there any adjective right here? It's a noun. Okay, it's an object. How can you describe it? For someone who has no idea how that looks like. A big, old, glass, okay, medicine cup to give remedies to children. How many adjectives we have here? 3, good job. Big, old, glass. What's the object? It's the cup. the medicine cup. Okay? Good job. Take your time. Write down your own answer. Your answer is totally different than mine, okay? Alrighty, let's go to the next slide. Our writing corner, number 1, use indefinite article a or an to introduce a singular noun for the first time. Remember, we said we use a and an before singular noun. But here we add more information. A singular noun for the first time, what does that mean? If you're about to write for your reader and you mention an object for the first time, your readers probably doesn't know what are you talking about. Look at the sentence. The museum has a dinosaur skeleton. Which dinosaur skeleton are you talking about? I have no idea. Okay, we're mentioning this for the first time, so that's why I'm using the indefinite article a before the dinosaur skeleton. Okay. Number 2, use the definite article the to talk about a noun for the second time. What does that mean? Let's look at the sentence and see. The dinosaur skeleton is enormous. What happened here? I add an adjective. I add more information about the same object. At the first time, it was unknown for my readers. And the second time, I added an adjective, I add more information, and my readers are familiar with the dinosaur skeleton I'm talking about. So that's why I use the definite article the for the second time. Number 3, add s to most plural nouns. Do not use the article a or an with plural nouns. Do you remember when we talked about using a and an for only singular nouns? The museum has many fossils, and we added an s right here. What does that mean? Is it only one? It's more than 2 or maybe more, okay? So it's plural noun. That's why I'm supposed to add an s at the end of the noun, okay? Number 4, use the definite article the to talk about plural nouns for the second time. The fossils are about 200 million years old. What happened here? The first time I didn't use the because it was unknown for my readers. The second time when I add an information, the fossils are about 200 million years old, I added the definite article the. Okay, so let's revise this very quickly. We use the indefinite article a or an to introduce a singular noun for the first time, like the museum has a dinosaur skeleton. If I want to add more information about the same object right here, I use the definite article the to talk about the noun for the second time. As you can see here, the dinosaur skeleton is enormous. We add s to most plural nouns. Don't use the article a or an with plural nouns. As you can see here, the museum has many fossils. Use the definite article the to talk about plural nouns for the second time. The fossils are about 200 million years old. Alrighty. Let's start writing. Open page 24. Try to write this in your notebook. Try to describe this object right here. Remember, at the beginning, we used some information in a form of a chart. We used adjectives like what? Old. What else? Big. Okay. You can add more adjectives based on what you see. Okay, I want you to describe this object from which museum? From Al Medina Museum. Okay, you can write a big, old, glass medicine cup to give remedies to children. What do you notice here? A big, old, glass medicine. How many adjectives I have here? 2. And I added the indefinite article a because I'm talking about something for the first time for my readers. I'm introducing the thing. Okay, they don't know what is it. The second time I'm talking about the same cup, I added the definite article the. Cup is back to the 3rd Hijri century. What happened here? In the first time, my reader doesn't know which cup I'm talking about. So that's why I added the a article because it's unknown, indefinite. And the second time, my readers already know what am I talking about, so that's why I added the definite article the cup. It's a specific cup that I mentioned before. I already described it. Okay? The cup is back to the 3rd Hijri century. Okay? Please make sure you take your time in this section. Okay? Let's look at letter B. Read the text. What objects are in the museum? What words describe the objects? Underline the guide's instructions. Welcome to the National Museum. My name's Hamid. I'm your guide. This exhibit is interesting. Follow me. This is a meteorite. The meteorite is from a crater in the desert. Please don't touch it. These are dinosaur skeletons. They are big. This skeleton is strange. It isn't a fish. It's a dinosaur from the sea. That's an enormous skeleton of an elephant. The skeleton is about 12 million years old. Please don't take photographs. I underlined some adjectives. How about you? Look at your book and try to underline as much adjectives as you can find. What objects are in the museum? Let's circle them. Let's go back. Welcome to the National Museum. My name is Hamid. I'm your guide. This exhibit is interesting. Follow me. This is a good job. Meteorite. Just circle that item. Okay? Did you notice that? What happened here? It's first time we read this word. So we used the indefinite article a. How about when the writer mentioned that for the second time, what happened? Use the definite article the. Meteorite is from, because I already mentioned it. Okay? Is from a crater in the desert. Please do not touch it. There are dinosaur skeletons. Circle that item. Okay? They are big. This skeleton is strange. It isn't a fish. It's a dinosaur from the sea. That's an enormous skeleton of an elephant. Also, we have a skeleton of an elephant. Okay? The skeleton is about 12 million years old. Old is an adjective. It's the opposite of new. Please do not take photographs. So now we read through and we were able to circle and find some information. This is step 1. Let's go to the next slide. Let's do scanning. It's almost the same thing, but this time you will be looking for more information. There are some questions that you need to think about and find the answers in the text. Question number 1. What's the name of the museum? What's the name of the museum? Probably it would be at the first sentence in the text because it's an introduction. So this is a good hint to help you. Try to find it out. If you did, please circle that in your book with a pencil. Or you can write it next to the question, whatever works for you. Who is Hamid? There was only one person mentioned. What was his job in the museum? Remember? Try to figure it out. My name is Hamid. Probably the next sentence is going to be, what is he doing? I'm your, good job, I'm your guide. How about the third one? Where is the meteorite from? Probably a name of place. Try to figure it out. Take your time. Good job. How about the fourth one? Which skeleton is strange? Look at this word, strange. Go and find it out. Scan for strange. Where's the word strange? Okay, good job. How about the fifth one? How old is the skeleton of the elephant? Probably we would be looking for a number because it's an age. This is just a hint to help you. We will answer all the questions together. Let's look. Now we were able to highlight all the informations we need for the questions. Look at the first one. What is the name of the museum? Told you it's gonna be the first sentence will come to the National Museum. So the answer is the National Museum. If you get this correctly, congratulations, good job. How about the second one? Who is Hamid? Look at the name. My name is Hamid. Right after it, I'm your guide. So the correct answer is the museum guide. If you got this correct, good job. Let's look at the third one. Where is the meteorite from? Good job. It's from a crater in the desert. Which skeleton is strange? Look at the adjective right here. This skeleton is strange. Which skeleton? It's a fish. It's a dinosaur from the sea. Okay, the skeleton of the dinosaur from the sea. How about the fifth one? How old is the skeleton of the elephant? How old? Look at the number right here. 12 million years old. Good job. Take a moment, double check your answers, make sure you have the correct spelling. Okay, let's go to letter C. Be a museum guide. Write about your favorite objects in a museum. Use your notes from the chart in A and ideas from this unit. Describe the objects and give instructions to the visitors. Imagine this would be fun, okay? So it's like role playing. You are pretending to be the museum guide. Go around the house, play this with your parents, brothers, sisters. Here is the object. You're going to write it right here, and words describe the objects. How about the first item, meteorite? How can you describe that? Go back to the text and find all the adjectives. Interesting, from a crater in the desert. Okay. How about dinosaur skeletons? How can you describe that? Imagine you're the museum guide. How can you describe that to your visitors? It's big, strange, isn't a fish, and from the sea. Okay. How about the third one? Skeleton of elephant. How can you describe that to your visitors as a guide? Good job. It's enormous, about 12 million years old. Okay, good job. Take a moment, make sure you finish all the description sentences. Let's go to your homework. Open your workbook, page 100, letter H. Buy some gifts for your family and friends. Make a list, use a or an. Okay, you're gonna list the items right here, all the gifts that you're planning to give to someone, and then you use a or an before the item. Here is an example, a toy, because it's a singular and started with a consonant sound. Okay, consonant letter. For, and you're gonna write the name of the person, your brother, sister, your mom and dad. Okay. So let's have today's lesson recap. We describe an object using different adjectives like big, small, old, enormous, famous, and nice. Also in the writing corner, we talked about the definite and indefinite articles. With that being said, I would like to thank you for watching and hope you enjoy this lesson. Thank you so much. See you next class.